Alright, number 2, I wanted to kind of do it the way that they were listing here on the screen. It just takes quite a bit of work. It takes a lot longer. So again, I mentioned you can do these by hand. I'm going to do them by hand. I'm going to start with the left side and try to get the right side. And so what you do is I start here and I look at what's over here, and I'm going to try to manipulate this. So one of the first things, and you won't know that until you know what you're trying to prove. So, and again, it's trial and error. You just have to try some things out and see where it leads you. So we have cosine squared alpha plus cotangent of alpha, and then divided by cosine squared alpha minus cotangent of alpha. Alright, so we want that to equal this expression on the right side, which is cosine squared alpha tan alpha plus 1, and then cosine squared alpha over cosine squared alpha tan alpha minus 1. So one thing that I see has been added that's new over there is tangent. So we can try to multiply tangent. So this is kind of like multiplying by a form of 1, multiply tangent on top and bottom, tan of alpha. So when you multiply the same thing top and bottom, that's like multiplying by 1. Alright, so I'm going to distribute tangent through, and this is much faster than what the computer's doing. So when you distribute tangent, we get cosine squared alpha times tan alpha, and then plus cotangent alpha times tangent alpha. Then on the bottom we have something similar. We have cosine squared alpha tan alpha minus cotangent alpha times tan of alpha. So this left hand side matches now. We just need to let this equal 1 somehow. So when you apply the tangent identities and we rewrite these, we will get cosine squared alpha tan alpha plus, this is cosine alpha over sine alpha. That's what cotangent is equal to. Tangent is equal to sine alpha over cosine alpha. Same thing on the bottom. Cosine alpha, sine alpha, sine alpha, cosine alpha. And then we have the rest that we fill in. Cosine squared alpha, tangent alpha. So when you do this, cosine divided by itself is 1, and sine divided by itself is 1. So it's just everything cancels out, so you're just left with 1 over 1, which is 1. So same thing here, just 1 over 1, which is 1. So this, in 4 steps, we now prove that starting from the left hand side and manipulating it, we get the expression that was on the right hand side. So this all cancels to 1, and then on the bottom, cosine squared alpha tan alpha minus 1. So starting from the left, we get to the right. And what you can see here, they go a very roundabout way of doing it. They use the identity, and then they get rid of a cosine, and then they factor out, and then they combine like terms with fractions, and it just goes on, and there's several more steps. So I would rather you do it by hand and just try a few things out, and then you'll get there a lot faster.